Yo, what is up everyone? Tachi here. So today I figured, since I'm seeing a lot of people asking about Mage and why Mage is considered bad in JP, I would try to explain why JP players say that Mage job is just not good. Now, do keep in mind that some things are due to change potentially. I'm not sure how much of this information is going to be accurate for our server, but I still think it's important for us to at least look at why JP thinks the way they do. With that being said, their information is probably going to be about the same for us, because if I'm not mistaken, the developers did openly state that they don't want to rush the server, so to speak. So we're not gonna do this catch-up game, because remember, we are like 3 or almost 4 years behind in terms of release date. So anyhow, since the game is going to release in 2 days, regardless of whether or not you want to play Mage, I think it's important to understand their reasoning as to why they say that it's not good. Now, for me to explain to you exactly why mages, or more specifically orbs, are bad, I kind of have to explain to you first how Colosseum, and more specifically the Shinma phase, works. So as you guys know, Colosseum, aka the PvP mode in this game, it's a 20-minute real-time actual fight that you have to be there for. Obviously the AI can take over for you, but I would highly suggest that you're actually there during your time period, unless whatever real life emergencies or whatever you have to do. And during the Shinma phase, there's 2 of them during the entire Colosseum. The first guild that hits 75 times collectively with the specific bonus weapons, of which there are 3 per Shinma. I believe it's randomized for the most part, and it's 2 DPS weapons and 1 support weapon. Whoever hits the 75 times first, they win the Shinma round. And winning the Shinma round is pretty important, because not only does it provide a buff to those exact weapons for a full minute and 30 seconds, which as you notice is quite sizable considering the guild war is 20 minutes long, it also damages the opposing guild's vanguards. So winning the Shinma can and probably will turn around certain Colosseum matches, so do keep that in mind. Now, this is probably one of the main issues with orbs, right? Orbs are the only weapon that don't appear as a Shinma bonus weapon. So if you have an orb grid, you will still do damage, but you're not going to contribute towards the Shinma, which likely means you're bound to lose the Shinma round. That's why they say that orbs are not good. Just with that, you can already kind of tell why JP players say that Mage is a pretty bad class and why you don't want to use it in Colosseum, at least. Now, this obviously doesn't affect PvE. PvE, you can still use them just fine. They are actually really good in PvE, but you're still going to run into a couple of other issues. Here's one of the other ones. In JP, at least, they didn't even receive a Mage job until after the 1st year anniversary, when they finally got SiNoAlice from the beginner navigation reward, which is basically like a type of tutorial. So yeah. Now, like I said before, I'm not 100% sure how that will translate to in global, because obviously global is a completely different server and we have no idea how far ahead or pushed or how fast we're going to be updating. So maybe it won't be the case for us, but at least in JP there was no other Mage classes other than SiNoAlice. Not only that, but there was no Mage Half Nightmare released until after 3 Little Piggies came out, a year after she came out, which means almost 2 years after JP launched. So that's pretty bad. And in case you guys don't know what half nightmares are, they're basically like a super specialized job. I should have it flashed up on the screen here. So overall, just in general, there was just no jobs to support the actual orb weapon, so they just weren't very good. And then the cherry on top would be just the fact that good orbs are only really available on the special gacha banners. So that means that your good orbs are actually much rarer than your actual good weapons for the other weapon types. So you're more likely to have like a bunch of good swords as opposed to a bunch of good orbs. And keep in mind, again, you generally want to have a full 20 grid of the job weapon that you happen to be maining. So it's kind of bad that the weapon that you're trying to main is going to be rarer for you to actually have. So those are just the main reasons. I might be missing some, but feel free to let me know. Again, as usual, thanks to Nat for helping me out with this one, and just answering my questions in case I might have said something dumb, because it happens sometimes. You know, I haven't really played this game outside of like release day and maybe like 2 or 3 weeks after that. But either way, like I said in the last video, I will be having a reroll guide up before the game actually launches, so if you guys are interested in checking that out, please do check back in with the channel. And if you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more SiNo content, guides, or just gameplay in general, hit the subscribe button. I'm out. Have a nice day.